Hey y'all, welcome to another week of Coffee and Composition. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'm April and I'm the president of A Little More Truth LLC, and this is our writing series to take the woes out of your next writing assignment. So we are diving into our first week of arguments this week, and we are going into the classical argument, kicking it old school. This is one you'll probably see the most often, so we're going to start you strong and build from there. So as always, grab your coffees and let's get started. All right, so before we jump into the classical argument, as always, if you feel like you need more help with your writing in any way, feel free to reach out to us at littlemoretruthllc.com to see what package may be right for you. So, what is a classical argument? A classical argument focuses on taking one position and defending that position with supporting evidence. Very simple. When is it best to use this type of argument? Because if you remember from the last video, I said not every argument type is right for your subject matter. It's best to use a classical argument when you're trying to convince your reader or audience that your thesis is the best answer to a problem or issue. So let's look at how to create an outline, and we're going to do these steps for each one of the arguments, okay? So creating an outline for the classical argument would flow a little bit like this. You would start by writing down the main point you want to make. Then you would brainstorm about 3 to 4 subpoints that support your main point. Then for each of those subpoints that we talked about in step 2, you want to write out one piece of evidence you'll use to support it. Think about the opposing view to your main point and write that out as well. That may seem a little counterintuitive, but you're going to need to at least acknowledge your opposing view in your essay. Then write down why your main point is still the strongest argument, because you want to acknowledge the opposing point, but you don't want to make it so that your reader starts to go with the opposing point. So write down why your point is still the strongest argument, and then think about how your argument can be used beyond the scope of your essay. And this will give you a basis for your conclusion. All right, I know that seems like a lot of steps, but an outline is key because it will help to guide you through the whole writing process. Now let's talk about creating a thesis statement. First, you want to provide a little context for your subject matter. Then state your main idea, also known as a claim, and then in that same sentence, you want to list your supporting points or your subclaims. And just as a little side note, a thesis statement can be more than one sentence long, so don't feel like you have to provide all of this information in one sentence. You can set up the context for the subject in the first sentence, and then in your next sentence, state your main idea and go into your subpoints. So organize in the essay. Because we've got our outline, we've got our strong thesis, we have our foundation, but we want to make sure everything is still flowing. Okay? The strength of the classical argument is in the logic of its flow. So it's very logical. Point A, point B, point C, point 2, things like that. It's very logical. Okay? So each paragraph following your intro paragraph should contain one of your subclaims and evidence to support that subclaim. Don't try to do too much in a paragraph. If a particular subclaim has multiple pieces of evidence, break up each new piece of evidence into its own paragraph. Okay? Again, don't try to do too much in a single paragraph. Check out our paragraphs videos to see how to organize your paragraphs. Then you want strong topic sentences. They're necessary to help connect each preceding paragraph with each other. And then don't simply summarize in your conclusion. Provide new insights. So, as you may recall from our outline slide, I told you in the last step to think about how your argument can be used beyond the scope of your essay. That'll help you to start writing your conclusion and think about the new insight that you want to bring to this topic. Okay? So our key takeaway, because I know that was a lot, if you don't remember anything else from this video, the key takeaway is that a good classical argument focuses on one side of the argument and providing its merit. Okay? So again, we acknowledge the opposing view, but we really want to make it very clear why our main claim, our point, is the right point and the best point on this topic. All right, as always, if you need more help with anything with your writing, just please feel free to reach out to us at alittlemoretruthllc.com. Follow us on Instagram at alittlemoretruth, and be sure to tell your friends about our videos. See you in the next video.